Tonality Howard Benson. Yeah, another guitar plugin. But this one promises to be special because it's curated by hand by Howard Benson. And not only that, engineered by Mike Plotnikoff and some presets by CLA. And if you were a fan of the music happening in the 2000s, you know every single one of these names. And even if you don't know the names, you know the songs. So of course we have to check it out. I'm Jorge Lanzas and now we break it down, baby. You may be wondering why I'm checking out so many different amp sims lately. And the fact is that I've gotten very pessimistic about Amplitube 6. What Amplitube 6? There's no Amplitube 6.
My point exactly.
Where is Amplitube 6? I mean, and what's IK Multimedia doing? Amplitube is an old plugin. I don't even know when it came out, but I feel like I've had it for I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. And from a technological standpoint, that's I don't know, 1 million years maybe? 2, 3 million? So yeah, lately I've been just getting sort of depressed about it. What's gonna happen now? Technology keeps moving forward. A lot of other amp sims sound great, but none of them has exactly what I want. I mean, Amplitube doesn't either, but it gets really close. So you get me why I'm blue and gloomy. But that hasn't stopped my quest. And the other day I had a little bit of a flop because we were trying the Tone Hub by the same company, STL Tones. And in the beginning I wasn't really sure what it was. But quickly I found out, my friend, that it wasn't models of amps, but captures. Imagine it sort of like a TONEX maybe, but with a few different things and some little aspects that I feel make it a little bit better. And if you want me to talk about it a little bit more, let me know in the comment section down below. Because if you're not like me and you actually do like captures, I feel like there was a few edges that kind of plugin has, and maybe you want to check it out. Anyway, you know what to do. But like a lot of people say, there's no mistakes in life, only lessons. And just getting to know that plugin led me to know that this company actually has been really busy doing a lot of content. And I found out that, for example, of course, they have that version, sort of like a TONEX thing, right? But they also have something that looks pretty similar to Amplitube. And also something that is pretty much like Neural DSP. Not actually like Neural DSP, but part of a Neural DSP with the archetypes. And that, my friend, is what we're checking out today. An archetype of sorts. But in this case, it's not a guitar player or a band member. It's a dream team of a producer, a great engineer, and a great mixing engineer teaming up, promising to give you great presets, great sounds, and great models. Yep, you heard it right. Models. These are models of Howard Benson's actual amplifiers, engineered by his engineer and mixed by CLA. And who's Howard Benson? Why would I know him? Well, together with Mike Plotnikoff and CLA, they've done some of the most iconic albums of the 2000s. They work with bands like In Flames, Of Mice and Men, POD, Hailstorm, 3 Days of Grace, 3 Doors Down, Creed, Papa Roach, Less Than Jake, Otep, Hoobastank, and the reason is yeah, that Hoobastank, All American Rejects, My Chemical Romance, Orianthi. So yeah, my friend, as big as it gets. So you know why I'm excited about these sounds and I want to share them with you. But anyway, my friend, I've been talking too much. Let's go see the plugin. Okay, just the first thing that I'm gonna say, just look at my screen. Everything, all this amazing space I have. And this is the plugin. Let's see if we can resize that window. It doesn't have the little buttons in the corners. Anyway, I wasted enough time on that. I guess I'm gonna just have to face the reality, and the window size is pretty small in the user interface side of things, and some things are gonna be a little bit harder for me to see. So if there's something that I get wrong, I'm sorry, and let me know in the comments, because of course I'm doing zooms for you, but no one's doing zooms for me. Anyway, thank you for your support. Here we go. All right, so let's just explore the interface. It looks like we have the presets over here, and okay, maybe these are, wow, Ola England. Nice. Did you see how excited I got? That's hilarious. I'm not even a metalhead, but I do respect Ola. What a great guy, great work ethics, all the shows. I feel like he's always super unbiased and pretty nice. So anyway, whatever, I got excited about that. And of course the CLA album tones, bass presets, and whatever, that's pretty nice. And then here you choose the presets. Okay, modest amount for Howard Benson. Then all this waves plugins, kind of like functionality, which I think it's pretty good to have. Routing, mono to stereo or stereo, and then this is where you log into your account. This launches the manual. Here's where the amps are, input, gate, tuner, which is going hard, and I'm always out of tune, it seems. No, it's not capturing my microphone. It's capturing the cable that is just going bang. But anyway, we have the amps over here after the tuner. Then here we select the amps. And then what would be this? This looks like an Uber shell maybe. This looks like some sort of Marshall-esque type of thing. Park, Friedman, you name it. Then we have this other version, kind of like that Red Devil or whatever that is. Then we have, this looks like an AC30 kind of, I want to say, but with different controls. Then like another AC30, but this one like with a tweed TONEX. And then an SVT, like an Ampeg SVT kind of. I wish it was a B15 Portaflex, but let's not get picky. We have what we have. And cool, then we have here a pedal section and we have a screamer, green. Could it be a tube screamer? Then we have a delay and a reverb. Then we have the amp control of the amp section. Then we have our cabinets. And okay, matching cabs, custom IRs like every other plugin. But internal cabs is what I care the most. Can we change the microphone? I don't see anything. But we can change the position, it looks like distance, angle, maybe in like a different kind of interface that I'm used to, but still you can do that. And here's where you can see like the similarity with this and sort of like an archetype. A few amps by somebody in the industry and a few pieces for you to control your sound. Maybe I want to say just right out of the bat, it feels a little bit limiting compared to, for example, what Neural DSP does, because they would have given you like a couple overdrives and a compressor and maybe like a specialty pedal like a chorus or a vibrato, a phaser, whatever like that. And then you would have your post effects like your reverb and your delay and that kind of stuff, right? In this case, we only have a few pieces, but they're all models of pieces that Howard Benson owned himself. So maybe you value that a little bit more, I don't know. For me, it's pretty cool, but let's stop the talking, get to the rocking and grab a guitar. Today we're going to be using my PRS SC Custom 2408. I just really know this guitar and I know what to expect from it. So I'm not confused just wondering why the amp doesn't sound the way I wanted it to sound. I know that the guitar is not the problem if I'm using this one. Okay, and like we talked earlier, like Howard Benson is more like a rock kind of guy, I want to say. So I'm not expecting like great blues tones or jazz tones, but I'm expecting pretty good distortions. Let's hear what the default settings are. Let me know what you think about that sound. Let's check the next amp. This one feels a little bit like crunchy instead of like distorted, right? I love playing the riff because of the chords. I really know how they're supposed to sound and I love to hear it in an amp. It lets me know things about like definition and like the characteristics of the crunch that we're listening to. And it just helps me process it in my brain a little bit easier. What are your favorite riffs that you like to play when you're trying something new? Let me know in the comment section. And while you're there, remember to like, subscribe, and do all those cool little things that we like to do on YouTube. And enjoy this little bossa nova, my friend. I hope your day keeps getting better and better. Alright, let's keep moving on. So yeah, I really like that little Marshall sounding thing. This here, amp 3. Very different, but I want to mention that they are managing the output section a little bit nice, at least in these 3 presets. I have high hopes. It sounds pretty nice. They're controlling their gain properly and they are giving me like consistent sort of outputs. I hope they keep it that way. But here we go. Let me turn my headphones louder. I mean, just as a starting point, to be honest, that sounds pretty great to have everything at 12 o'clock, right? I mean, of course, they're giving you a little bit of extra gain. Because if this were to be a Bogner, for example, you expect it to be a little bit more gainy than a Marshall, right? And then you go to the Marshall. You have a little bit of like that creaminess that you would expect. Let's say maybe if you don't know a sound of a Marshall, but at least in your head, when you go from Bogner to Marshall, you kind of like expect that like change from like more sour and spicy, steering a little bit more to the sweeter tones, right? And then when you go to this red one that looks raggedy and everything, I feel like it does sound like an old amp. Even it's a little bit noisier, right? Sort of like fun things. And right now, all the cabs are changing at the same time. Let's turn this tuner off because it distracts me. And let's see what happens with the gate. Cool. I really like the way that gate works. And again, that's something that I notice when I play with something that it's like a capture as opposed to a model of an amp. The noise in the capture, there's like nothing you can do to get rid of it. But in this case, very easy to get rid of the noise, right? Like I'm just talking right here with my volume all the way up and there's nothing happening, which is pretty great. I like that. Okay, let's check what happens with amp 4. Ooh, nice. What a beautiful sound. Let's see what happens if I stay in humbucker mode. There's something about these STL tone plugins that I noticed the other day, and I mentioned this in the live. And if you haven't seen me live, please make sure that you do so. I'm mostly live on Mondays around maybe from 2 to 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and Fridays, kind of like around the same time. But that's besides the point. What I was saying is like in that live, I was saying there's something about the connection with this amps and your guitar. For some reason, these plugins, even at the same latency, allegedly, which what I use all the time is 64 samples, this feels to me like it's a little bit more immediate. Something about it just makes me feel like a stronger connection to the amp. And I felt the same way with that other Tone Hub plugin. And yes, I've been noticing the same thing about this one. There's something about the connection that you get from the guitar to the sound. It feels like it's just coming right out of it. I'm really enjoying this amp. Very nice. Let's see, just explore right here what's happening in the pedal section. Is the reverb on? Yes. Is the delay on? No. Let's turn it on. And then see, that reverb doesn't really bother me too much. Maybe just a little bit too much. It doesn't feel disconnected with the guitar, which is what I like. Let's hear this delay. I mean, that sounds pretty good, but I guess it's only ping pong. I don't like that. Let's see this drive. I wonder if what they're calling gain is actually what we call level. But whatever, let's turn this to 2.5, which is kind of like my preferred setting. Let's see what happens if we push it all the way up. They do some sort of like a failsafe too, because I noticed that same thing in the Tone Hub plugin. When you push these overdrives all the way up, clipping doesn't let it alter the gain stage of the next component, and it stays like at a consistent level. Some of that feels really good to me just because it's like saving me from a step. So I feel like that's okay. You know, less things you need to learn to make a great sound. Really nice sound. Let's see what happens with the tone. I like it around 7.8 or 8. I mean, that's as great of a tone as any, right? It sounds really good. Let's turn it off and let's keep moving on with the next amp, number 5. Another beautiful clean. And see, this is something that I always mention. They are manipulating the output, but not to shock you. They're manipulating it to give you like sort of like a consistent level so you can actually compare tone to tone. So that's pretty nice to see. And I want to say maybe like the first plugin company that has done it like this nice. Of course, there's still variation, you know, because you're pushing with amps and stuff and things are changing.
But
You can still listen to the differences and make like an informed decision. I really like that. And I guess you have to turn the tuner off in every plugin.
in every preset,
These two amps sound a little bit too clean to be an AC30 to me, but I might be wrong. Okay, let's change this to bright. I have to come back to that sensation, like the feel that I get from the pick to sound in my mind feels like so much more immediate. Like it just makes me feel like the sound of the guitar is the sound of the amp. You know what I'm trying to say? And I am not like super loud. I'm not blasting my headphones. I still hear the bleed, but there's something about it. Anyway, really nice clean amp. Let's see the next one, warm and clean. Okay, so this is the curated sounds. I'm like super tempted to just try a little bit more bass just because I don't have a bass. Okay, let's try to go back to the default in that one. Really nice. Next one. Very nice. Very, very, very nice. Even being like a little bit of like an older plugin, the sounds are pretty nice and modern. Rock lead. I wish I was like a way better shredder because this tone sounds exactly like so many guitar tones I've heard, like that you may want to recreate, you know, when you're like having like a lead solo and I don't know, this is a great tone. I don't know, if I was a shredder, I would be pretty happy with that tone. Let's go to our bridge pickup and see what happens. I mean, it sounds pretty nice. That is a really, really killer sound. And just the fact that this is a model, you can actually tweak it and everything would be fine. Pretty impressed, my friend, so far. Pretty impressed. Screaming Verb. Some dystopic sounds for you. Let's see, crunch rhythm. Let's see what happens here. Maybe not for that, but maybe something like... Like, I don't hear problems with it. That's the thing. Maybe I'm a little bit different in that kind of way. When I'm hearing sounds, I'm not just hearing the character. I'm hearing the combination of everything and sort of like making a balance. And when I hear this kind of tone, I kind of wish Amplitube sounded this balanced because then I could do everything with it. But then we're asking for too much, right? Let's keep going and see what's up right here in the heavy rhythm one. Ooh. Wow, that is really nice, really heavy. And I like that it's a different sound. It's not like the Soldano. It's not like a Marshall. It's not a Mesa. It's very different. Very, very, very cool. Sort of like the same reason why I choose to use an angle sometimes instead of like a Mesa Boogie or something like that. Just to get a very, very different tone. Like this. And I know this preset is ready for the mix, so of course you don't have all the excessive bottom end that you don't really need. But what I really like is that everything you play with this amp sounds like evil, right? Even when I play that riff, or even if I play something simple like... has like an evil aura to it, right?
Let me know if I'm just going crazy.
I mean, it does sound very, very nice. Okay, enough of Howard Benson. Let's go see what happens here when we go to album presets. Uh-oh. I guess you have to buy those separately. Okay, whatever. That's enough though. Let's see what else we have here from Ola Englund because I was so excited about it. Major Riffage. And see what I mean about the bottom end? A lot of people, when they know that this is going to go in an album or in a record, you don't really need all that bottom end because you have a bass player and you have kick drums and you have toms and all those things that actually take a lot of bottom end. So he is focusing all the energy of the amp in the frequencies that he wants to hear. Okay, this needs to be more evil. Okay, I'm having way too much fun. Man, this is a great sounding metal preset. The amount of metal that Olan's putting into these amps is incredible. Let me know what two songs are mashing up there. Right, very cool. Screaming lead. Little bit on the harsh side for my taste, but you know, it's metal. It all goes in metal. Dirty Clean. I'm excited about this one. Thanks to that preset, I realized how good they react to lowering my volume here in my guitar. Very nice sound. Of course, excessive delay, but I don't know. This is way closer to what I want to hear from a pedal, from a guitar, from an amp. That sounds really good. I really like this amp. Is this like the Voxy thing? Yes, really nice. Last one, because this has been too much. And on that note, my friend, let's go get a few conclusions. All right, so there you have it, the Tonality Howard Benson. Honestly, I was pretty impressed with just like the presets and the way that the plugin works. Really nice. Definitely the first thing that really catches my attention is just the way that these plugins are handling, I don't know if I want to call it latency because in theory it's not, because my buffer size is the same on all of them, but just the way that you feel this connection with your fingers and the pick, the guitar, and the sound coming out of the amp. There's sort of like a different connection that what I'm used to, and I really like that. Then the next thing is that I really enjoyed that the presets, first of all, they are controlling the output. So basically all of them are sort of consistent. You can actually hear the differences of the amps because the level differences is not super huge. So you don't have like that horrendous shock of something new just like bashing your ears and you're like, wah! Or then something like super quiet that you can hardly even hear, and then you bust your headphones up and then a loud preset comes and then you're done. You know the horrible cycle that I'm talking about. So those are really nice things to commend to them. And of course, this is more like an archetype like I was saying, but they do have an amp that is pretty much like Amplitube. And after hearing this, honestly, I feel a little bit more comfortable that even if there's no Amplitube 6, I know that there's other people doing stuff that is sort of similar to what I want to hear in a model that I'm able to get behind of. I'm talking about a business model that is not just subscription services, because I don't really like the subscriptions, and these you can still buy outright and just own him. So I'm pretty curious. They have another plugin called the STL Amp Hub. So maybe that will be the next thing that I'm going to try, and hope that that is the thing that is going to make me stop being blue about the lack of Amplitube 6. But hey, come on, IK Multimedia. If anybody that knows anyone in IK Multimedia and is watching my videos, let them know that they need to hit me up and let me know what's going on with Amplitube. Anyway, my friend, I've talked too much. I said too much, but I want to hear about you. Let me know in the comment section. Other than that, if you want to watch another video, I recommend this one right here. Let's go have some fun. I'll be waiting for you right there. Thanks for being here again, my friend.